Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. This is Taliesin McKnight, and today's subject is As Above, So Below. All that is above is a reflection of that which is below, and all that is below is a reflection of that which is above. This is the Hermetic axiom that derives from the Emerald Tablet. And as I'll get into in a moment, this draws on Hermeticism, which was a Greek and Egyptian philosophy about 2,000 years ago in Egypt. And this knowledge, this philosophy, has trickled down through the Middle Ages, influenced the Renaissance, and today we have Hermeticism. Now, this Emerald Tablet explains, some people believe that this explains how we are able to manifest our reality. So some people believe that this text is a sort of key in how we are able to shape our world or manifest the world or to create the world as we want it. So this is believed by some people to be a key of how to create or manifest your life. The Emerald Tablet, it says, as above, so below. As below, so above. This means that the external world is a reflection of the inner life of man, so that the external and internal are reflections of each other. Some people believe that our own perception of the world is able to reflect in the world. Okay? To put it another way, the visible is a reflection of the unseen, invisible world, and that these two worlds interact with each other. So this is a belief widely held. I'm not saying that this is true. What I am saying is that some people believe this, and this is where it comes from, and this is how it works. This is said to be a law, just like gravity, okay? It's whatever you throw up comes down. Or it's like a boomerang. Whatever you throw out comes back to you. So this law is said to explain how we're able to manifest our lives. It's the secret of creation, basically. Now, where does this all come from? The Emerald Tablet, the earliest we could trace this text, dates to around the 8th century. In a text written in Arabic called Kitab Sir al-Halika. And in this text, in Arabic, to around the 8th century, this guy named Belinus, he claims that underneath the statue of Hermes, he discovered a hidden vault. And in this vault, he found this text written on emerald. You know, the stone, emerald, a green stone. So he discovered this hidden chamber under the statue and discovered this text. That's what he claims. This again appears in the Middle Ages. It appears in another Arabic text called Kitab Sir al-Asrar, which means the Book of Secrets. This was a text of advice for kings. So yeah, this was a book of advice for kings. So that's interesting. Now, where does this all come from? Where does this so-called hidden knowledge derive? It goes back to Egypt around 2,000 years ago. Hermeticism is a blending of Greek and Egyptian thought. When Alexander the Great conquered Egypt, or when Alexander the Great liberated Egypt from the Persian Empire, his general Ptolemy Soter started the Ptolemaic dynasty. This is when Greeks ruled Egypt. And Cleopatra was the last Ptolemy. So a lot of people have heard about Cleopatra. Cleopatra was the last Greek Ptolemy to rule over Egypt until the Romans took over. So anyways, when the Greeks ruled Egypt, there was a blending of Greek and Egyptian philosophy, and this gave us Hermeticism. Okay? Now, we do have Hermetic texts dating to around the 2nd, 3rd century. This knowledge trickled down through the Middle Ages in books on magic, alchemy, things like that in the Middle Ages. And in the Renaissance, there was a big Hermetic Renaissance, and we have this today. So Hermeticism goes back around 2,000 years ago to Egypt, and we still have Hermetic philosophy. And some people believe that this draws on earlier material, that the Hermeticism of Egypt was drawing on the hidden knowledge of the temples in Greece and Egypt, so that the hidden mystery schools were revealed in Hermeticism, trickled down today. Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa in the year 1510 in the 16th century had his 3 books of occult philosophy. So anyways, getting a little off topic here. Well, actually I am on topic, but time to explain. As above, so below. As below, so above. And this is the square and compass of Freemasonry. The square is the physical, visible world. The compass is the unseen world. Okay? And in the Qabalah, this is the Hebrew letter Aleph with a Vav with 2 Yuds. In the Rider-Waite tarot deck, the magician card shows someone holding a wand up and pointing down. So this means that the external world is a reflection of the inner life of man. In other words, our perception of the world influences the world. Whatever you have on the inside reflects on the outside. That's a belief. I'm not saying whether this is true or not. What I am saying is some people believe this is where it comes from, and this is how it works. So you've got to make up your own mind as an independent thinker. I'm not saying this is true. And even if I was, I could be wrong. So we all have to think for ourselves. But this is Hermetic occult philosophy. Goes back to Egypt. So, if you want to understand this, you could say within and without, that as a man thinketh, so is he. That our thoughts on the world influence the world. Some people believe this. Or you can look at it this way. If you take a circle to represent reality, this circle represents reality. And you divide this circle in half. Down here we have the physical world. This is the visible, concrete world of form. This is the physical world we live in. Up here, we have the unseen spiritual world. Okay? The idea is that, so you have the force and the form. The idea is that our thoughts are projected up here. And here we have our thoughts and ideas. And these manifest in the physical world. And so then we send up our thoughts up here and our ideas, which fall back down and manifest as the spiritual world. So our thoughts go up, they fall back down and create. So this shows the interaction. It's like gravity. You throw something up and it falls back down. Or like a boomerang, you throw it and it returns. So here we have the visible world and the unseen invisible world. That our thoughts and ideas manifest up here and fall back down and create, and then our thoughts reflect up here. So visible and spiritual. All that is above is a reflection of that which is below. And all that is below is a reflection of that which is above. Okay? So it goes up here, comes back down like this. So that the form is a manifestation of the idea. So we have force and form. These are two opposites. And this explains the idea that our own thoughts are projected up here in the spiritual world, whatever, and fall back down and create the world. So some people believe this. And again, the square in Freemasonry, the square has to do with what is finite, the visible world, and then you have the invisible, and the square and compass of Freemasonry show this interaction. The Hebrew letter Aleph in the Qabalah shows two yuds on each side of a vav. The magician card shows him holding up and pointing down. So that if you had a mirror, it's a reflection above and below, okay? Or the hexagram, an upward pointed triangle, represents our projections going up, and the downward triangle falling back down. So that is one way to interpret this. And it's possible that this is just a modern interpretation, okay? And that's basically it. Now, Plato, around 2,500 years ago, talked about the Platonic ideas, and that the visible world is a reflection or a shadow of Platonic ideas. That's the Greek philosopher Plato. This is a little different, but kind of the same thing. Astrology is based on the idea that whatever happens in the cosmos, the planets, manifests on Earth. So some people believe this, and this explains how the inner life, our inner world, reflects in the external world. Now, like I said, I'm not saying this is true. I'm saying this is a belief. This is where it comes from. A lot of people believe in this, and I want to know, what do you think? As an independent free thinker, what are your thoughts on this? So if you want, in the description, in the comments, I would like you to give your opinion. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you have a different view. Do you think this is true or not? Or maybe you have a different interpretation of what the Emerald Tablet is talking about. For example, some people believe that this is a text that explains gold making, transmutation of metals in alchemy. So there are different ways to interpret this. But basically, this goes back, this type of thought, this type of philosophy has trickled down, and we still have these ideas. All that is above is a reflection of that which is below, and all that is below is a reflection of that which is above. We send out and it comes down. And some people believe that if you focus on a desire, and you focus and focus and focus on a goal, and you build up energy and you focus on your goal, like love or money, then you could focus this, which will manifest. And if this is a law like gravity, the laws of attraction and repulsion, if this is a law like gravity, like physics, like a boomerang, which you throw out comes back, that our inner world reflects out there and vice versa. If this is a law, then it would mean that we are always creating. All of us are constantly manifesting. And what this is about is not creating, because we do that anyway. It's about controlling what we're sending out. Maybe we're creating things in our lives that we don't want. Maybe we're creating debt. Maybe we are creating problems. And so it's about controlling what you're sending out. And so, anyways, like I said, I'd like to hear what you think. So if you want to give your own opinions, then feel free to put that in the comments. Anyways, thank you for joining me. And this is Taliesin McKnight. And have a great day, y'all.